Oh, my darling hearts, hello and welcome to Awaken the Divine Feminine. We are in session 6, and this is our final session together for this program, and I am just absolutely thrilled. If you've been here for the entire time, if you've watched the replays, if you've only been able to tune in here and there, I am just grateful that you have taken this time to really reconnect with your spirit and connect with the spirit of the Divine Feminine. And today is the time where we're going to celebrate the awakening of the feminine divine presence, guidance, and wisdom in your daily life. And so the last couple of weeks, we've actually started out by coming into her presence. And today we're going to do that a little bit differently. And so I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. And just check in with your body elementally. How is your body feeling? The earthly, physical matter of your body. How's it feeling? And now moving into the water realm, your emotions. How are your emotions feeling? And checking in with the air realm, your thoughts, the mental capacity. How are your thoughts? Moving into the fire realm, checking on the energetic realm. How are your energy levels right now? What is your body telling you? And then coming into the center, your spirit, the essence of what makes you, you. How's your spirit doing today? How's your spirits today? And if you notice that things are swirling and twirling and you just feel really unsettled, if you've noticed anything that was like, not really feeling juicy, not really feeling good in your body, give yourself permission right now to just put those things in a basket and set it outside of our space. And allow that basket to be sat directly by the great goddess. Allow it to be given to the mother. Knowing that you have permission to pick up anything that's in that basket after our time together or not, should you choose. And to really invite some juiciness into our body, some connection into our body, her divine presence into our body, let's go ahead and start with a little bit of a dance. And this one, this song, I love it because it's so inviting and it's also very vigorous. So my invitation to you in this particular song is, if your body feels like it wants to move vigorously, then by all means move vigorously. If your body feels like, vigorous is not for me right now, I just want to move, however you choose to move is perfect, as long as you are connecting with your body and inviting the divine feminine presence to be with you in your body. Okay, here we go.
find yourself a rhythm, lose yourself in trance, lose yourself, find yourself, dance, dance, dance. We call to you. We honor you. We welcome you. Buddhist, Muslim, Christian, pagan, Jew. We welcome you, we honor you, and all you do. Braille, Knight, Elamite, Hermetic, Kabbalistic, Druid, Wiccan, Solitary, Sufi, Mystic, Techno, Retro, Straighter, Queer, Yogi, Mahatma, Holy Roller, Rock and Roller, Rainbow, Rasta, Yoruba, Voodoo, Santeria, Hindu, Shamanic, Teutonic. Speak your truth. Enter the center where all is one. All are welcome, all is one. Enter the center where all is one. All are welcome, all is one. Enter the center where all is one. All are welcome, all is one. Enter the center where all is one. All are welcome, all is one.
Hmm. Oh, I love that song. It just gets the energy moving. It gets the feeling of celebration and the feeling of welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ah. So I want to talk. Actually, you know what? I put my slides in a different order, but this happens to me sometimes where I feel that the slide order is not necessarily the way that I want to go. So I'm going to skip these slides and come back because I had a really beautiful question come in, and I thought I was going to answer it after we did our completion exercise, our celebration exercise. But I want to answer it now. So, question came in, how can I keep this magical practice of connecting to Goddess alive after we're done? And I love that question because the short answer to this is your connection to the divine feminine, your connection to Goddess by whatever name you call her, is just like any other relationship in your life. If you don't feed it, the relationship will shrivel up and it will feel like it's dead. And you know, that's and sometimes it does die, you know, and then you end up in a program like this, or you end up being in a community of people and it sparks back to life again. And so what I want to say is that it's never really about what you do. It's just about you continually inviting her into your daily life and making yourself available for her to speak to you. I just actually did an interview yesterday that's going to be out sometime next week. And one of the things that came up was that we have all of these practices, these buffet of practices. And that's kind of what I've put out for you in these last few weeks, a buffet of different ways to connect with the divine feminine. And I will notice that some of the tools that I use are not necessarily filling me with juice as they once were. I'm not, myself personally, I'm not the type of person that can say that I've gotten up every day at 4 a.m. for the last 10 years or whatever to meditate or to do yoga. And if you are that type of person that is able to stick to one thing and do it continually, that's great. Invite her into that practice. What I have noticed for myself personally is that I shift through seasons. Fall tends to be a very active season for me energetically. So I find my connection to her to be more active things rather than more still things. fall and the spring, whereas the summer and the winter tend to be lower energy times for me. So really tuning into what's your energy level, and maybe having a list. I physically have a list. I actually made a menu of all of the different practices that I have been trained in, have taken interest in, can do, and I choose according to my energy level. So let's go ahead as we're diving into here, I want you to think about these questions in making yourself available for Goddess to connect with you. What makes you feel most open and connected to her? Just thinking about the practices that we've done, thinking about the space that we've had in between the times, what has made you feel most open and connected to her? And I'll give you, let me turn this down here so I'm not blasting everyone out. I'll give you a little bit of music here to consider that. Okay, I hope you had enough time to, in that silence and then with that little bit of music, to answer. Um, let's see. Jody shares that dancing, journaling, guided visualization, and meditation, pulling oracle cards, all ways that she is feeling open and connected to her. And then tune into what your current love language is. So when I'm talking about love language here, I'm talking about what is it that you love to do that comes very easily to you? What is it that you love to do? So it might be cooking a meal. You might find that might be a place where you end up finding Goddess because you love doing it so much. It might be in creating, where you are doing any kind of art, or you are writing, or you are baking, or so what is your current love language? Take a quick note for yourself here. hope I've given you enough time. And Dee shares that the way that she feels most open and connected is sitting with her womb, tarot, listening, and writing. So my current love language is actually with Goddess is actually finding her in a cup of tea, and that is something that I consistently, a place that I consistently have been able to find her in when I am present, when I take the time to take a couple of deep breaths and come into her presence in making a cup of tea. So a question that I invite you to stay open to are is where does she find you? Now, your answers to that question might surprise you, and I want to send that question away with you. Just giving yourself an opportunity to notice where she finds you, because God is actually, when you open to her in these specific ways, you will actually begin to be surprised at some of the other places that she finds you. Now, some of the ways that I know she has found me and speaks to me is through dreams. Sometimes I get this inner kind of hunch or knowing, go here, talk to this person, or somebody is on my mind a lot and I have to pick up the phone and call them or text them. That I believe is God is speaking to me, because it has happened enough that somebody else has said, oh, I was just thinking about you. I was talking to you about this, that, and the other. Or it has been opportunities that have come to me that I just have shot somebody an email and they said, hey, I was just thinking about you. I have an opportunity. So though that's another way that God speaks to us. Animal messengers. Um, if you are fortunate enough to live in a place where you see animals quite often, um, animal messengers are really, really helpful. I've talked a little bit about, as of 2020, I've been working with Artemis, and I have all of this year, we have had deer come and be in the yard. Well, deer are sacred animals to Artemis. And it's interesting to me because there were deer in the neighborhood and I've seen them in the neighborhood, but they didn't hang out in my yard nearly as much until I started really actively communicating with Artemis. And now they are in my yard all the time. It is hilarious. It is hilarious. Divination practices, oracle, tarot, woman runes, any of that. Sometimes Goddess will speak to you in books, reading, podcasts, a conversation with a friend. Somebody might say something that just sparks something in you. Yes, synchronicities, angel numbers. I mean, the ways that Goddess, when we open to her communicating to us, the ways that she speaks to us are just innumerous. Journaling, she might speak to you through writing prayers or poetry. Again, music lyrics, a snippet of conversation. She might speak to you through your own body as you're moving, again, talking about the dance, but it might also be a walk in nature, creating things, making a meal, making art. She might speak to you in stillness, meditation, or my favorite, Zen driving, where you're driving that strip of road and you don't have to turn, it's a while before you have to turn, and you sometimes or get so spun out wherever she is taking you that you miss the exit that you get off. This has happened to me so many times. I'm like, okay, sorry, I was Zen driving. She might also speak to you in community when you are in these kind of classes. So when you are sharing with other people, or when other people share something that resonates with you, that is a little taste of Goddess speaking to you. All right, so I want to back myself up here and come back to our thread integration. And for this, you are going to want to have your notes handy. So this is the part where I do the least amount of talking, and I'm probably going to, after I give you these instructions, I'm going to mute my microphone so that you just have time to sink deeply. So if you have been able to watch all of or participate in all of the all of the sessions, I invite you at this time to go back through any notes that you took and notice what was moving for you a few weeks ago. What are you wanting to bring forward? This is a thread. So you might want to pick 2 to 3 things that that move for you, that you made a note of, that you noticed. And this doesn't necessarily just have to be from our sessions. This could have been from your journal or from a noticing that you had in between times together. But you just want to start to gather these threads of what it was like for you. Okay? And let me open my notes because I want to go over to give you a refresher if you have not had the opportunity yet to go through. All right, and I'm going to again turn on some background music. So once I go through, I'm going to give you kind of just a really brief overview of everything that we've covered in the last 5 sessions. And give yourself a space to ask Goddess, to open to Goddess and ask her what it is that you need to remember from that time. Okay? So in session 1, we spoke about connecting with the divine feminine, and you found out a little bit of my story and how patriarchy caused the great schism and stopped us from connecting to the divine feminine in the way that we were used to. In session 2, we learned to write the sacred, and we were introduced to several goddesses who wanted to connect with us during that time. I introduced you to a journaling practice that you could do in order to open to divine feminine and connect with her and what she had to say through you. In session 3, we talked about the yin and yang feminine and the yin and yang masculine. And we had a vision. I shared with you a vision of how it might be different if you were taught that the age of awakening for your body, and that your body was special, and that there was an age of awakening, and you learned about masculine and feminine, and you were able to recognize and celebrate all of that within you. In session 4, we talked about intuition, and we opened up to your inner wisdom. In module 5, we talked about ceremony and celebration and the importance of opening up for the sacred ceremonial timings. I gave you an outline of basic ceremonial structure, and I invited you to have some things present for a ceremony of celebration today. So with that recap in mind, what's important for you to take forward? I'll give you 5 minutes here to really journal deeply. All right, and beginning to bring that journaling to a close. All right. All right. So for our ceremony, I did not grab my lighter, but I did grab a candle. And what I would like to do, excuse me while I grab my lighter from over here, and I'll continue talking. What I would like to do is give you just a moment here to go over all of your takeaways and pick the one that feels the juiciest, that wants to be voiced. And so, in celebration of this session in 2020 of Awaken the Divine Feminine, I light this candle from my heart to your heart, to your heart, to your heart, to your heart. Wherever this finds you, whatever time this finds you in, I light this candle and hold this light for you. And for those of you that are live with me and cannot unmute or not in a place to unmute, drop your takeaway, your one juiciest takeaway into the chat here, and I will give it voice. And while we're waiting for that, my one biggest juicy takeaway is that no matter how many times I tune into Goddess to be able to hold the space for these sessions, this Awaken the Divine Feminine workshop, I am always in awe of the people who show up, who share, whether they share live or whether they share with me afterwards in an email that they took the time to write. I am always in awe of how she works through me and connects me with so many lovely people. And so that's what I speak. And Jody shares that her juiciest takeaway is to remain connected and honor Goddess. I have to continue to care and feed this relationship. And that's what she gives voice to.
Hi there. Since I can speak, I'm going to speak, and just something that just happened just now, which is reminds me that everything happens in divine timing with God. Because believe it or not, I was supposed to get a delivery at 5 o'clock, and it came early. I mean, just now, as you were saying, as we were getting out of the journaling, just then there was a knock on the door. So it really just, whatever it was, waited until it was okay to get up for a minute and go and run to the door. So I just really feel as if, the other thing that kind of came to me was that the idea of where is Goddess finding you? Because if you want to work with Goddess, um, it's a two-way street. It's not
Mhm.
a one ticket like you reach out and then Goddess is just supposed to be sitting there, waiting. But that the divine also has plans for us. So we need to be awake, available, ready, willing, able to help bring those plans to fruition also. It's not just for what we want, but what we need to be able to give
Yes.
in return.
Hmm. Hmm. What she wants to work through us. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. 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 That's a lot of following that divine timing is a lot of what I do. And
Hmm.
and knowing that your resistance is probably part of that process too.
Yes. Yes. And when are you resisting? When
Hmm.
are you cutting
Hmm.
yourself off?
Hmm.
Just as important as when are you opening yourself? When are you shutting yourself off?
Hmm.
Because that can often be the time when the most is required of you, and you're just like, well, no, I think I'll pass.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
when do when are you available to Goddess? It's just as important as when is she available to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Really important takeaway there. Thank you, Dee. Hmm. And so it feels like a common thread between all of us is really staying open, staying open, staying open. And so in our dance of celebration today, let us dance to let the way be open. So I invite you once again to take all of those threads that you just collected and move with them so that you can weave them and integrate them into your being so that you take them with you and they stay supple and juicy with you throughout this entire time. Oh, hang on just a sec. All right. All right, your screen is probably going to be a little blurry here because I have to move iTunes here, so pardon that.
Sing through my voice, through my hands, let the way be open.
Both of those songs were by Abby Spinner McBride. Gorgeous, gorgeous album. If you ever get the opportunity to download that. Very, very helpful if you want to continue this dancing practice of connecting with her through your body. Those are great, great tracks. So, what's next? Well, in the process of all of this and really connecting with what was next for me, I want to invite you to join my community, the Goddess Tea House community. I'll be doing monthly oracle readings and journaling prompts to help you work with the energy of the moon and the elements of creation. There will be monthly guided meditations to help you regularly carve out some time for mindfulness and develop a deeper relationship with the divine feminine through her many aspects. I'll be offering monthly blessing exercises to help you continue to gain clarity on your own life and live in tune with nature and your own cycles and rhythms. And there will be a monthly live on Zoom and recorded Circle of the Moon, a 2-hour virtual retreat with movement, creation journaling, and companionship with others in the community. And the reason that I was waiting for goddess guidance to determine what the energetic exchange felt good for me. And membership, I've decided, is going to be $16 per month because that feels like a really good, solid place for me to feel energetically supported, as well as to be able to open the community as wide as possible. And our first circle of the moon retreat is on November 16th, and I believe that is a Saturday. If not, it's that Saturday, the Scorpio new moon Saturday, at 2 p.m. Eastern. Now I don't have as of this recording, I don't have that up. But when this recording actually gets up into that classroom area, you'll see a link in that final classroom area for this particular page for you to be able to find out more information and to go ahead and sign up. And I have another little gift that I'm still working on for you as we complete our circle for Awaken the Divine Feminine. So I want to give space here. Is there anything else that wants to be shared, that needs to be shared, that you feel guided to offer as we close today? And Jody says, fabulous. So much gratitude. Thank you, Jody. Thank you for being here.
And I would just like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And next time I will check and make sure when I say I'm muted, I actually am muted.
That's okay. The technology is so fun.
Yeah, right?
All right, my darlings, go take very good care of yourself. And as we honor the elements of earth and water and air and fire and spirit, we open this sacred space and send this energy out. We send this lovely contained energy that we have held for the last 6 sessions out so that the balance may be restored. And so it is. Go take very, very good care of yourself. Remember that I'm only ever on the other side of the emails if you're on my email list, which you are. So at any time, if you have a question for me, if you want more information about something, if something is not clear, do feel free to reach out and connect with me. Be happy to help. Take very, very good care of you. Bye-bye.